Hey guys, my name's Luke, and recently I've really been wanting to go to the zoo, but I just can't. So I decided that rather than look at the animals I want to see in the zoo, I could draw them. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to draw a giraffe, an elephant, and a panda. So the first animal that we are going to draw is the giraffe. I chose the giraffe because it has a cool long neck, which is super fun to draw. To start, let's draw a nice rectangle. This will be the body of our giraffe. Next, let's draw a long diagonal rectangle up here. That's going to be the neck of our giraffe. Then up here, we can draw another rectangle. And that'll be the head. We can then draw some legs. I'm going to be sticking to mostly rectangles for this drawing, just because I think that's a little easier. And then, remember, even though we're drawing rectangles right now, we're going to curve it out and draw some details in a second. Now that we have that, we can start to curve it out and make it a bit more detailed. Now that I've done that, I can erase that line, and this one here too. Also going to round out the nose and the chin. And now for the legs. But mostly what I'm worried about is these lines here. Curving out that will make it look a lot more real. As for the tail, I'm actually just going to start with a little squiggle. And that'll be the start of my tail. See, now that I start to finish this and round this out here, I can do more detail on my tail. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to try to draw the same line right next to it, like that. So now it looks more real. Now let's erase all those unnecessary lines that we had from earlier. Now we can start drawing a bit more details, like the eyes. I'm just going to draw some nice circles, and its mouth. See, this isn't super realistic, just because it's a little cartoon that's fun to draw. Actually, something interesting about giraffes is that they have these little bumps on the top of their head. They almost look like horns, but they're not spiky. They're just these weird rectangles. So now that we have those, we can start to draw its spots. Giraffes have a lot of spots, and they come in a lot of strange shapes, so you can draw them however you want. The way I'm going to be doing it is drawing these little squiggly blobs. And then after I do that, I can color them all in. Alright, and now that we're done with that, we can color it in. Giraffes are mainly two colors, yellow and brown. I'm going to draw the yellow in first, and then color in the brown spots. I decided to color in the yellow first because you see, the yellow is sort of the background color, and then the brown goes on top. So now that I've finished coloring in this yellow, I'm going to go in with my brown marker and color in the spots. Alright, and now that I've finished coloring in the brown, I can go in with my black marker and draw over my pencil lines to make them easier to see. Now we can color in the eye and the mouth. This is your choice if you want to do this. Sometimes I like to outline the brown spots, but for this one, I don't think it's necessary, but you can if you want to. The next animal we're going to be drawing is an elephant. To draw an elephant, we're going to start with a nice big circle here for its face. And then after that, you can come out and draw two very big triangles. These are going to become the ears of our elephant. those aren't what ears actually look like. We're going to adjust it later. But for now, we're going to start with that. Next thing we can do is draw a nice rectangle. This is going to become the trunk of our elephant. Personally, when I draw elephants, I don't like giving them a straight trunk because that's not really what they look like. Elephants are always moving their trunks around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a couple more rectangles attached to my first one like this to make it look like it's curved. Alright, and now we can go into a little bit more detail on our elephant. The first thing we're going to do is fix up these ears. Because these aren't what ears actually look like. First I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a little line here and here. And then we can erase these parts. I'm going to do the same thing down here. And then we can round them out, because that'll look more like the real shape of an elephant's ear. Alright, then we can erase these lines up here. Next thing to do is to work on the trunk. We can start to connect these rectangles we drew earlier and curve them out to make it look more real and more like a real trunk. And then we can erase all these lines inside of here. And then to add a little bit more detail to our trunk, add 2 half circles right there, because those are the air holes on our trunk, because this is how the elephant breathes, through the trunk. Next thing you can do is you can draw in your eyes. Just doing some nice black circles. And then I'm going to make my elephant happy, so I'm going to give it a nice big smile. But that looks weird. The smile wouldn't go in front of the trunk. So we can take our eraser and erase this. So that way the trunk is in front of our smile, but we can still see it. Something I like to do here is I'm just going to erase the top to make it look more connected to the elephant's face. Now that we finish the face, we can move on to the front of the body of the elephant. This is a bit harder because we'll have to draw behind our trunk, but I think you guys can do it. I'm going to start with a big circle going behind the elephant's trunk. I'm not drawing it in here because that's the elephant's head. We can then erase it from behind the elephant's trunk and draw 2 very big rectangles. These rectangles are going to be the feet of our elephant. Elephants have very, very wide legs, so I make mine very wide. And now that we have that, we can come in and darken our line, add a little bit more detail. Usually, I would have rounded these out, but elephants actually have very, very flat bottoms to their feet. So I'm actually going to leave it as a rectangle. Now, something you can do is add these nice big curves, because elephants, just like us, they have toenails too, but their toenails are very, very big. Alright, finish that. And now that we have that, we can erase these unnecessary lines in here. Elephants are all gray, so coloring it in isn't super interesting, but it's something we gotta do. So if you want, just grab your gray marker and color it in. If you want, you could even use your pencil, because sometimes your pencil looks gray too. See, I'm going to be tracing the outline first and then coloring in the rest, because that makes it easier for me not to go over the edge of my drawing. See, I'm coloring in the head all together first, and then I'm going to color in the body together first. The body together second. Now, usually, I'd color in the outlines black, but I do that last. For this, I'm doing it a little differently. I'm going to color these in first because I'm drawing the head and the body separately. So we can go in with our black marker and color in the outlines of the head. Come on here. See, I'm actually drawing this black line over the body because I want you to know that the head and body are separated. Because if they weren't, it would look like there was no neck. Drawing this line, even though we cannot see the neck, drawing this line helps us imagine that it's there. I'm going to color in these eyes because they got covered up. Alright, and now for the trunk. I'm actually going to try to avoid those little half circles we drew earlier because those are the air holes. And if we colored them in, it would look like they weren't there. So we want to make sure that they're still there. Now that I finished with that, I can grab my black marker again. And don't forget that smile we drew earlier. Alright, next up is coloring in the body. I'm not going to color in the toenails because the toenails are white. They're not the same color as the skin. Alright, now that we finished that, we can go and outline it with our black marker. And for this one, I'm even going to outline these toenails to help them stand out a little more. And there we go. That's how we draw an elephant. The third and final animal we are going to be drawing is a panda. First, we're going to draw a circle right here for its head and another long oval right here for its body. Next up, we're going to draw its legs. I'm going to be drawing these as rectangles. And something fun about drawing pandas is we can do it almost all with circles. Those two rectangles are the only rectangles that we'll need. I'm going to draw a little circle here. This circle is not actually for anything important. It's for coloring it in later though. So I'm going to draw that now. And then for this face, I'm going to draw another circle right here to bring out the front of its face. Because its face isn't a total circle. Now that I have that, I can just draw a little circle up here for its ears. Now that we have that, it's time to go in with some more detail. Gotta curve those because unlike the elephant, pandas do have curved feet. Okay, that's the main outline. And now here, remember these two circles I drew in earlier. We don't want to forget those. I'm gonna draw those up. I'll make them look like they're part of the legs. Now we can go in and erase some of these unnecessary lines we have. And from there, we can draw a little curve here. That's going to be the nose of our panda. Then actually come in here, finish out the ear, and then the eyes. Something cool about pandas have these big black circles around their eyes. So we can draw those in right there. And then here, we're going to draw those in bigger. And then we can draw in their actual eyes right there. Draw a nice little mouth for him. You see, pandas are all black and white, so we don't even need to color it in very much. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my black marker. And then I'm just going to go around the outside of this drawing. Make it easier to see. See, I'm going over these circles from earlier because these will actually be colored in black later because the legs of the panda are black. And then, now let's start coloring this in. We can start with the ears, which are black, and the nose, which is black. Come in with a smile. Something difficult about drawing a panda. Something difficult about drawing a panda is with these black circles around its eyes, it makes the way that we've been drawing eyes earlier hard to do, because if we just draw a black dot on top of a black dot, you won't see it. So something I'm going to do is I'm going to draw this little black circle here, and then a black circle around it, but I'm going to leave a little bit of a gap between so that you can see the black dot inside. And then I'm going to fill in the rest of this bigger circle. So now we have the big black circle around its eye and the little black circle, which is the eye itself. And now we can color in its legs. I really like pandas because they're such a unique animal. There's nothing really like them around. Same with the giraffe and the elephant. All three animals that we chose on this to draw today are very unique animals and are some of my favorites. And just note that for these lessons, they're not just how to draw these animals. You can take what you learn about drawing basic shapes and then draw some of your favorite animals. So if you want, rather than just drawing these three, you can go and draw some of your favorite animals as well. Alright, so